All right, everybody, welcome. Of course, my name is Mo. You know me from the R&B podcast with my boy Sean, and the Everybody Has a Mic podcast with my boys JT Malone and Steve. Shout out, brothers. But I'm gonna have to do something a little different, and I want to do something a little different from my page, and I want to react to different things in R&B because I love R&B, y'all. You know I love them. I love my artist. My McKnights, my Boys the Men's, my 90s R&B. Shout out to everybody in TikTok. Guys, I wanted to get right to it. This young lady was the young girl at the time, supposedly that was allegedly in the R. Kelly video, the X tape in, I guess, early 2001, two or three, that leaked out. And we are in 2026, and now she is coming out and telling her story. I wanted to react to this live. I have not watched it. I will try not to pause it. I will try my hardest to not interject. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of confused about why now, all of a sudden. But I think we should just get right into it. And I don't want to speak until we, get everything what we need to get. Let's do this.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Feel present.
Mm-hmm. When I think about the amount of time that has passed based on how long you knew R. Kelly, I think so many people have wanted to hear from you for so long. How does it feel to not be Jane Doe anymore?
It feels very rewarding. It feels very liberating, which was a part of the reason why I wanted to write this book, because I really wanted to live in my true skin, in my true self.
And your true self today is what?
My true self today is Rashona Landfair, not Jane Doe, not Sean. It's who I am as a person, who I am as a mother, a friend, a daughter, a colleague, etc.
You dedicate this book to your dad, your son, and you say your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would you say this book is for?
This book is for every person who has gone through some sort of trauma or some sort of uncomfortable moment in their life where they blamed themselves, were ashamed or embarrassed to live in their true skin and just really took the faults of other people and, kind of hid behind that. So it was just really freeing for me, and I wanted to share my experience with people who have been in similar situations.
You obviously
In 2020, you're writing a book and you're okay. You know what? Let me
obviously talk in this book about how it started. You don't start at the moment people start talking about you or knowing anything about who you are and who you're associated with. But you describe at length how it started. You mention your aunt, the artist Sparkle, who used to work with R. Kelly. I want to read some of it from, I think it was page 18. You say in the book, the next time we're at the studio, this is what you say, Sparkle said. You say your aunt told you the next time we're at the studio, you should ask Robert to be your godfather. Aunt Sparkle explained.
You know what I'm saying? If I said it, I said I'm gonna stop. I said I'm gonna stop. I said. Sparkle said, "Y'all remember Sparkle? You better be careful with Sparkle. You to. Why would Sparkle want him to be your godfather?" Okay, stop, Mo.
That I should sit on his lap and rub his head while I asked him to be my godfather. This instruction seemed sort of weird since I hadn't sat on his lap before, but I didn't question it. When you think back,
I don't know how long I'm going to last on this. She told him to sit on his lap and rub his head. And Paul, is
that where it all begins? Is that the start?
That is the start. That is the start of him entering into my life in a different way than just being an artist or hanging out at the studio. It became more personable at that moment.
Because you yourself were an artist. You were a part of a rap group. You had toured Europe. You'd been to Europe.
Mhm.
And it was your aunt, you said, that introduced the family to R. Kelly because he's this successful artist from Chicago. At this time, he's really starting to blow up. He left the group that he was in.
Mhm.
And it was interesting, exhilarating, fun to be around him. It's kind of how you describe it in the beginning. I mean, this is a big superstar, and you have
Yes.
access to him like, hey, I want to hang out in the studio.
Mhm.
And at the time, in the beginning, he's treating you like a normal, excited kid that wants to learn more about the business.
Correct.
So when do things turn? And I know you go into great detail,
Mhm.
the early stages and why this is so complicated, your mindset
Mhm.
at that time.
Well, during the time that I met him, I'm also a teenage girl who's going through puberty. And so some of the things that I was thinking or feeling were just normal expressions um, to, my maturity level at the time. And so
What does that mean, ma'am? I, mm, mm, no more maturity. Okay.
it starts very innocent. It starts, you know, being mesmerized and, like you said, like admiring this person. And then, it kind of gets a little deeper or more complicated when that person is able to, see what you can't see, the way you're developing, your conversation, your personality traits. So it kind of became more complicated when he started analyzing me and, the things that I was going through and who I was becoming as a person. And again, I was excited and mesmerized to, be under his wing and to be a part of his habitat. So that's how things kind of unfolded.
So we know that things progress beyond looking out for you as almost like a goddaughter, and it turns into something more than that.
This goddaughter thing is really bothering me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's really bothering me because I'm a godfather to many. Many. I just didn't. I don't understand why Sparkle said that in the first place. I don't know why she did it. I don't know why the parents allowed. Look, let me start off. By saying you're an older male. You you're an older male. You should not, in any means necessary, any circumstances, be with a child in any XEX way. No relations, none of that. No. Teen girl, no. Now, I'm going back to high school, y'all, and I cannot get this out of my head as I'm listening to this. Because she just said her level of maturity and what she was going through at the time as teens. I can't get this out of my head. High school, even I remember middle school, is called fast girls. They're called fast ass girls, right? And I can't get this out of my head that a lot of these teenage girls did not want the guys that were my age at the time to be with them. They were rolling with the older 1920s and up gentlemen, and maybe even upwards age beyond, getting in their cars after school, middle of the day in the school. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You probably won't want to, you know what I'm saying. And you knew exactly what you were doing. You knew exactly what you're doing. I'm not saying that this young lady knew exactly what she was doing. It's just a statement called fast ass girls. And y'all know exactly what I'm saying or no? Do you know that? I'm not trying to be, I know people going to say, I can't believe he's victim blaming and shaming right now. I'm just saying, I know a lot of young ladies at the time when I was a teen that fully know exactly what they were doing and will tell you they know exactly what they wanted, exactly what they were doing. But let me, and again, I'm not absolving Robert Kelly, R. Kelly makes the music, Robert of this stuff. I'm not, because at no means necessary you should be with a younger girl. You have to say no. No. No matter how they're feeling about you. No, it's a no. It's a no-go. But again, this is possibly grooming manipulation and all these different things that's going on and is about to go on psychological, as she's saying. But Sparkle, I don't got no words for that.
I want to go and stay with your aunt Sparkle, who I've interviewed before.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the first person to really sort of say, you need to go check over there. Something's not right.
Right.
I think there's something going on that should not be going on.
Mm-hmm.
In the book, you describe social services coming to your home to do a welfare check.
Mm-hmm.
And your parents are shocked. They think perhaps maybe she's just jealous because she's no longer associated with R. Kelly. And then obviously 2001, 2002, we're talking about the tape. But why don't you think anyone believed your Aunt Sparkle when she first raised a red flag about a possible inappropriate relationship?
I don't think they believed her because there were no obvious signs of what was actually taking place. It was more coming from her end, maybe looking like a motive from, like you said, not being around him. And those kind of questions or concerns didn't happen until she was no longer a part of, his camp or the things that were taking place, her as an artist. That's when those questions started to raise.
Chapter 7, you call it stress fractures. And you say it was a couple of weeks before your 17th birthday. You say, Robert told me the copies of one of the sex tapes of 14-year-old me were beginning to be.
Hold on. Okay, so Sparkle, since something was going on, Cal's got rid of her. So the parents then said she's just hating and jealous now that she doesn't have access to R. Kelly. So she would make that up. Okay. I'm trying to get the full story.
Be sold on the streets of Chicago and across the country. Your reaction to that when you think about hearing those words from R. Kelly, that this tape is out there and you were 14 years old?
I was empty. I was very hollow inside. I was very confused. Didn't know what to expect. And I was embarrassed.
I want to read part of that in terms of just sort of what you were feeling at that time, because at some point, the remedy for this, according to, you refer to him as Robert in the book, is that he wants to tell your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, Robert told me how he would tell my parents the truth
Mm-hmm.
about us. My mom and I were in one room and my dad and Robert were in another. You go on to say some other things, but eventually you get to this part. After a while, Dad came storming out of the room, crying hysterically and cursing, saying to R. Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
You're sick. I can't rock with you. I can't help you. You need to get help. He yelled at Robert, who followed us into the elevator and was on his knees crying. Man, I'm sorry. I just love her.
Now tell me what you think about this, y'all. Let's just stop it right here. I'm disgusted. Okay. Parents. So you have a mother and a father. Y'all tell them about the relationship. And the father starts screaming and running out, talking about he can't rock with them. And he didn't put foot to ass. I repeat, the father didn't put foot to ass on this dude. Parents, listen, parents, you know your son, your daughters think they know everything. You can't tell them nothing. Couldn't tell your ass nothing either. But that's besides the point. You can't tell them nothing. They know everything. But you know they don't know everything. You got to remove them from these situations. I don't know how you let this thing get to this part. How do you trust a person you don't know, all because they are an entertainer? You trusted this person with your teen daughter? Fame and money. Let's be honest, y'all. Fame and money. Fame and money. Fame and money. It, people are so starstruck, man. This is just but we're talking about this in 2026, and this was 2002, 3, 4. Parents didn't come out, say anything. Okay, let me just keep going. Let's get a little bit more.
The turning point from innocent goddaughter running around just trying to learn the music industry to
stop calling her goddaughter.
something.
Stop calling her goddaughter. Stop. It's disrespectful. Stop. I know what you're doing. Stop. You're very good, Miss CBS woman. Very good. I see you.
More like you're trying to make sense of why he's calling you and saying, you know, what are you wearing? This type of thing. To now you're confronted with something that's out there, and he's saying the solution is just tell them. I know it looks crazy, but I believe you're my angel, as you refer to in the book. And your dad initially is upset. He's crying. He's confused. He doesn't know what's going on.
The dad
Why
is
wasn't
that? That dad is a soft terry cloth. What kind of female is this? You realize your daughter is getting peed on and spanked in all different ways by Robert, and you didn't put foot to ass on this dude. It's unbelievable, y'all. It's unbelievable, y'all. I'm just
the moment when you look back where you were not allowed to see R. Kelly anymore, be around him. Take us to why it was so complicated for you and your family, and what you said to your parents.
It was very complicated. My dad wanted to make the right decision, and he was not okay with anything that took place. I was more under Robert's brainwash. I was more under his spell, and he utilized me against my parents, making threats of suicide and doing different things out of desperation to convince them to not turn on him. And because I had been groomed for so long to carry out this mission and also not want that girl on the videotape to be myself, I thought in my little mind that maybe that was the best approach. We felt more protected and had more resources and help through him than taking matters into our own hands with this celebrity and the industry and not wanting to be the people to end R. Kelly and deal with hatred and many things. So, I mean, I'm not here to sugarcoat any shortcomings of my parents or myself, but at the time, that's what made us feel the safest.
You felt as though R. Kelly was holding all of the cards, had all of the power.
He did.
How did you make peace with your parents later?
They were getting paid. They were getting paid. There we go. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. As long as that money's coming in, people are good. Once that money stops coming in, people are crying. I'm not saying she's down bad and needing money right now and wants to make that book. I'm not saying that. Shout out to CBS, this reporter. I find it very interesting that all these Epstein files are coming out with all these different people's names in it. And now we have rewound time to come back to 2002, 2003 to distract. Y'all are geniuses. Oh my goodness. Again, I can separate the artist, everybody, from the person. I know a lot of people can't do that. Yeah, let's just. I think we're gonna leave this here. Shout out to CBS. Shout out to this interviewer. She did a really good job, as far as I've heard right here. I'm gonna leave this here to the comments. Let you guys speak on it. Let me know if I'm bugging out. Anything I said. Again, at no point, no time, I feel that an older man or woman should be in any XEX relations with a younger teen child. I just find this very funny that we're talking about this now in 2026 when that happened in 2002, 2003. And Epstein files just come up. Got a lot of prominent figures in there. Some people in there over 1 million times. But I digress. I'm gonna get more in depth with this. Pause. With my boy S. Sean from RawNB podcast. We're gonna break this down and really get into this. But I had to get to it and had to see what was going on right now. So again, y'all, more music coming, more good times coming, more good vibes coming. Thank you for dealing with this with me. This was a lot. Sparkle, parents, and of course, we don't try any of the parents. There's nobody's held accountable and responsible for their daughter by law either, right? So as long as we're getting the money and the resources from a person, we're good. Selective law, selective parenting, random godfathers rubbing on his bald head, sitting on his lap. Pause. This is just. I'm good, man. I am so good. 2026 is just become so dusty. But again, I'm gonna keep on dropping the music for y'all, and yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time because you know what? 90s R&B, little early 2000s, the good 80s. We're gonna keep bringing it back to that old school sound and those 90s R&B hits, regardless. Because right now, that's what we need. We need the love songs. We need, unity and good times. D'Angelo, we need it. We need it. All love, y'all. Stay blessed by the best. Till the next time. Yeah.